Ken Carberry, how are you doing today? What are you up to?
Pretty good, Luke. Sending out academic alerts.
Oh, interesting.
A lot of those.
You mind showing us around the station today?
Oh, happy to.
What goes on in this office?
Well, this is my office, and basically this is where I prepare for my classes and meet with students, of course, advising and the like. I've got a couple of pictures. This is Mel Blanc, who was one of the great voiceover artists of all time. I was a big fan of his. He did all of those characters, Porky Pig and Bugs Bunny. So, I always admired him. I've got a photo here. That's a photo of that goes back to 1978 in this building. That's a photo of me, believe it or not, along with my then friend, now business partner, Jordan Rich, who's been in radio his whole life as well. And that was right here in Studio B.
Wow. And radio's been around for 90 years here?
90 years, yeah, more like 92 now. This building has been a radio station since 1975.
Wow, that is insane. You mind showing us around a little bit
No,
more?
come on, we'll take a little walk around.
So what's going on in the hallway here? What's up with these pictures?
These are posters from Rolling Stone covers that were donated to us by an alum. He was a student here when I was a student, and he went on into business. It did very well, and he has supported the school and the radio station. And so he donated these, and we're happy to have them. Some Rolling Stone covers, some pretty cool rock and roll artists.
Wow. What goes on in this room right here?
This is the newsroom, and this is where we prepare the news for broadcast. And we have access to AP. And so the students can come in here and write their newscasts.
Now I see a couple of awards in there, but also right here on the wall. What goes on here? What are these?
Right, these are AP awards, Associated Press awards that the station won mostly a few years ago. They no longer do these awards. Associated Press has stopped doing this, but the station was very, very active with winning awards going back to the 80s, 90s, and all the way to current times. We win different awards now, Intercollegiate Broadcast Service Awards and others.
And what categories are these awards given to?
Sports, news, talk. Lately, we've won several awards for production. We've got a pretty good production team here, and we have had that over the years, so we've won some awards for production as well.
And again, these are all students winning these awards?
All students, yeah.
Wow.
I just sit in the back room and write out reports, but the students do all the work.
Gotcha. Now, Ken, how did you get into radio?
Well, I was kind of born into radio. My dad was in radio when I was growing up, and my dad was a DJ and had radio shows and TV shows, went on to radio management. So to me, it just seemed like kind of the family business. So, and it was just fun. And when I was ready to go to college, my dad said, well, if you want to learn about radio, go to Curry College because they have the best program. And he's right.
Nice. That's awesome. Do you have any interest outside of radio?
Mostly music and theater. I do community theater and play a little music. Not well. I don't do either well, but they're interests. I didn't say I was good at it.
What kind of music do you play?
Mostly folk music.
Very nice.
On guitar.
Nice. What goes on in this studio?
This is Studio C, which is a studio that we use to record music and to record promos, one of our production studios. As you see, everything is digital, except for this. It's one of my turntables that I brought in because I thought we should have a turntable. So I added this so that students who do have record albums, because they're coming back now. As a matter of fact, last year, more record albums were sold than CDs.
Wow. Is that a personal equipment right there?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's a lot of my personal stuff in here. You'll see it everywhere. But so I thought it would be fun for students, and we have a couple of students who like to bring in albums, and they record them. They can play them live on the air here or load them into the system from here.
Now, students can play music on that record player and then play it on air, correct?
Yes, I can.
Wow, that is awesome. Any other studios you want to show us in here?
Sure. Let's go across the hall. There's a podcast studio there.
Wow, interesting. What goes on in here?
Well, this used to be the record library when I was a student here. And as you see, we have some records up there just to remind us of what this room used to be. But when I came here about 4 years ago, this just was an empty room. And I thought this would be a great room for a podcast studio. So we turned it into that. We put up some sound baffling wall decorations, and we also built the studio and built the table. So this is now available for students and faculty alike who want to do podcasts.
And where are these podcasts uploaded?
They're uploaded anywhere. You can hear them on any podcast outlet, so you can hear them on iTunes or anything else.
Wow. And again, this is students who lead these podcasts.
Students who do this, yeah. And it not just radio students. We allow any student who wants to do a podcast to come in here and record.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
You a coffee or tea guy, Ken?
Oh, I'm a coffee guy. Black. Hot.
Oh, interesting. What goes on in this studio right across the hall?
So this is the production studio, Studio B. And this studio, we do a combination of things where most of the music we upload is done here. As you can tell, these are just song sheets that the music department uses. If there's a problem with a song or it's not recorded properly, or if people make a request and we don't have it in the system, the music department will load that in to our system here. So that goes on here, as well as the production department does a lot of their work in here.
Now, you mentioned departments. How does that work?
We have department heads, are all students, and they take the course for 2 credits if you're a department head. If you just want to be on the radio without being a department head, then you get 1 credit for the course, and that allows you to be on the air. So yeah, it's all student run, student department head, student management.
Awesome. What kind of music do you listen to, Ken?
Mostly classic rock, I suppose. That's my age.
Interesting. Any modern artists you're listening to right now?
I like some of the modern music. Yeah, some of the modern music we have in here. As a matter of fact, they were just playing the Killers in there. I'm a big fan of the Killers.
You mind if we go say hello?
Let's do it. This is the broadcast on-air studio, Studio A.
Let's go take a look.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Look at, they're playing another song by my favorite band, apparently. This is Will and Chewy, and this is our on-air studio here. As you see, we've got 3 microphones. Usually the DJ will just use 1 microphone, but for newscasts, news shows, sports shows, we've got the 3 microphones. Everything is digital. They can pull up all the music, all the different formats of music that we play. As a matter of fact, we play just about every format here at WMLN because we want to train the students to get used to working in commercial radio, so they don't know what format they're going to get a job in. So we let them do country music, rock music, hip hop, classic rock, and everything else.
You mind showing us this room over here?
Sure. This is where all the sound really happens. This is how we get the music on the radio. So it's our transmitter and the equipment, that equalization and all the stuff that gets us on the air and that streams, because we're both streaming live as well as on the air and the FM dial, about 100 watts.
Wow, whole lot of machines here. I bet you can't tell me what that one does.
This one here, no, that's my favorite. That's what we call the RDS, Radio Data Subcarrier, and that is that's the piece of machinery that tells you what song you're listening to. So if you're driving in the car and it pops up, it says WMLN 91.5, Curry College, The Killers. That's what does that.
Wow.
So that picks up the data from the computer and broadcasts that on the FM dial.
That's super cool. A couple more questions before we head out on you, Ken. Who's your role model?
Well, I suppose my role model my first role model would be my dad, because as a radio person, and then also in this building in 1976 when I first came here was Roger Allen. Roger Allen Bump was his last name, and Roger was news director at WRKO, and he basically had my job back then in the 60s and 70s, and he really created this radio station. So it's definitely a role model.
Now, how can students on campus get involved here at the radio station?
Anybody can come in and broadcast here. You just have to take the course. It's just a 1-credit course, a radio practicum. And if you take the course, we meet on Fridays for an hour or so, and then next thing you know, you're on the radio.
That is awesome, Ken. And again, that course is available to anyone here on Curry campus?
Yes, it is. Starts out at COM 1510. I just happen to remember that one.
And it's an easy course, huh?
I wouldn't say that. I'm a very difficult instructor, Luke, as you know.
I do indeed. Thank you so much, Ken, for your time. I really do appreciate it.
All right, Luke, happy to do it.